Good morning, Commune Education Revolutionaries. I'm Susan May, and I'm here today to talk to you about duh moments. I'm wondering if you've ever had a moment like that where it seems like suddenly you have an aha or a solution come to you, but when you stop and think about it, you're like, duh, of course that's the solution. Why didn't I think of that sooner? So, duh moments can be like a simple solution, and I'm going to share an example that I wrote about last week. Or it could be like a deep thought. Like lots of our deep knowings, like spiritual type things, like we are one, like taking care of ourselves is how we can best serve others. Those type things are also kind of duh. But sometimes we know them in our head, but we don't live them because we don't truly believe them. Okay, so those are two kind of duh realizations that it's possible to have. So, an example of a simple solution I shared last week was our trampoline. The trampoline is a great exercise tool. It's a great way for our kids to get outside. And Carter loves jumping, and we've had a trampoline pretty much his whole life. And lately, we've had a hard time getting him out into the backyard. And there's a good reason because we have a rooster and we have chickens. And Carter was attacked by said rooster, not just once, but I believe twice. Okay. And so it's been on and off trying to get him out. And we tell him, we're like, we're not letting the chickens out. This is your time to use the backyard. And we know Carter understands. But the body is different than the mind. And so it's been really hard. Well, my husband had a moment. He was like, why don't we move the trampoline closer to the house? Because the trampoline was all the way across. We have a fairly big backyard. Not only that, it was next to our chicken coop where Carter was able to see Rooster, who would jump and flap up onto this perch and crow at Carter. So, of course, he didn't feel safe. So, within hours, I think, or at least a day of my husband, Mike, my brilliant husband, thinking of this, he dragged the trampoline closer to our house. And what do you know? Carter's going on the trampoline. It was such a duh moment. And I said to Mike, we should have done this months ago. So that's one example. Let me give you a couple more. Last week, I had a call with our S2C practitioner, Kelly Howe. She's amazing. She is our practitioner in Knoxville, Tennessee. Her services are adroit therapy for any local Tennesseans. And so I had a Zoom call with her and I wanted to talk about motor stuff. And I just brain dumped on Kelly because I hadn't had one of these calls in a while. And I was telling her one of my current challenges with Carter when we spell is that he touches my guitar. My guitar is right behind his spelling chair. And it's very sweet. I love that he wants me to play guitar, and I'm getting a lot better at guitar because he asks often. But I also realize that him touching the guitar doesn't necessarily mean he's intentionally asking me to play. It could be a motor loop. It could just be his body doing something when he really wants me to keep spelling with him. And as I spoke with Kelly, the solution was so obvious. It was in my head. Well, put your guitar away while you spell. And at first I thought, oh, I have to move it completely. I have to, I have one of those wall hangy things and I like where it is. I like how it looks aesthetically. I like that it's convenient for me to grab my guitar when I or Carter wants me to play. And I didn't want to move it. So I had this internal resistance. Well, then I thought, well, I don't have to change where it's stored most of the time. I just need to simply move it when I spell with Carter and put it away so he can't touch it impulsively. Duh. So I started doing that. Other duh moments in that call with Kelly, we were talking about motor things that I can do with Carter to help encourage intentional movement. Now, this isn't duh so much as these are ideas I've had for a long time, things to do with Carter, putting silver away, putting his laundry away, playing like a catch with him, doing things in everyday life, but I'm just not doing them. I have all the ideas and I'm not doing them. Sometimes we just need to speak to someone. We need to say it out loud, and we need that accountability piece. Hey, I'm going to meet with Kelly again next month, and I want to be able to tell her that I did the things I said I was going to do with my son. Okay? So these are duh moments. Last week, I ran a call about toileting. And from the start, I was honest with people. I said, I'm not an expert. I don't have all the answers. This is a hard problem. This is very challenging for our children. It's challenging for us as their parents, but it's also a worthwhile problem to attack, to tackle, to take on, and to never give up on. I had such great feedback from people, and it was mostly along the lines of, you've inspired me to try again. Or I realized I have to take the diapers off. That's kind of a duh moment, right? How do you potty train your child or toilet train them if they're in diapers all the time? There's so many barriers that you're keeping in place if they are in diapers or pull-ups. They can't feel things. You are lulled into a little bit of complacency, right? I'm not going to use the word lazy. I don't like the word lazy. But as parents, if we know our child is in a diaper or a pull-up, guess what? We're not going to be as proactive. We're not going to be as on top of things. So a lot of people shared, I realized I need to take it off. One mom reached out to me, and with permission, I'm not sharing her name, but she said, I didn't even watch much of your video, but I realized we were ready for the next step, which was nighttime, taking the pull-up off at nighttime. And this mom communicated with her non-speaker that, did they want to do this? And they had immediate success. Okay, so this is the power of, it wasn't anything that I said particularly, but it was this mom showing up with an open mind to a place where we were coming together to attack this problem, and her realizing, hey, duh, we got to take the next step. Okay, so what stops us from having these duh moments? What stops us from having these aha moments and taking the next step forward? It can be fear and anxiety, and that is legitimate. So taking the diapers off is a great example where fear and anxiety stops us. Okay, it could be exhaustion, because we're just plain tired. This road we're on, these revolutions that we're part of, are not for the weak. It's a hard road. It could be that we're just comfortable where we are because things are working, right? That nighttime pull-up works. We still use a nighttime pull-up. And so when we're comfortable and things are kind of working, we often just get stuck where we are. It could be we're busy, and so we don't feel like we have the time to attack the next thing. An example of being stuck, I want to go back to my guitar example. I was stuck in thinking, oh, I have to completely change the setup of my room. I felt like I didn't want to do the thing that was the solution. But then when I spoke out loud to Kelly, I realized, oh, wait, I don't have to do it that way. There's other solutions. I can just simply move the guitar when I'm spelling, which is very easy to do. So sometimes when we're stuck, it's not it's that we're stuck on one idea and we can't see that there's lots of other easy solutions. Okay, so how do we create these in our life? How do we create more solutions, easy solutions that have real results? Well, like anything, this is a practice. Okay, I don't know if you've heard people that are creative people, writers, musicians. If you want to be inspired, you have to do the work. You have to show up every day. You have to create the habits in your life for creativity to flourish. You can't wait for creativity to strike, because it won't happen, or it will happen, but not as often as you need. It won't happen regularly. And so this is, like I said, it's a practice. It's a habit of showing up and doing the things in your life to make that happen. So we need input. Okay, I'm going to give you another example of a duh moment. Recently, I took time to watch a podcast. It was Cindy Gellermini's podcast. I think it's called Spectrum Perspectives, and she had Laura of Laura Says. You can find Laura on Facebook or I think Instagram. Laura Says. She's a non-speaker, amazing young woman. And her mom, Valerie, she had those two on. Valerie's also a practitioner. And I kind of wanted to watch, but I kind of thought, oh, man, I don't really need to watch. Like, what am I going to get out of this? I kind of know their story. But I had some time and I really like them, so I watched. And what do you know? There were just some things on that podcast that truly inspired me, that moved my energy. Laura said something, typed something out in particularly about lessons and how important lessons are for our speller's regulation, and how her mom uses lessons to see where she's at on a particular day. It was one of those duh moments that you saw Valerie have in real time. Valerie was like, huh, you're right. That is how I use it. And I didn't even really fully understand. And those, when you see those unfold, it helps you, because sometimes parents don't understand why do I have to do lessons, especially once a child or an adult is open on the boards. What are the use of lessons? This was a really great moment. Okay. And so we need input to have aha moments. We can never think we have it all figured out, right? That part of me that thought, oh my gosh, I've learned so much, we've been doing this. No, we need to stay humble. We need to understand there's always more to learn. Now, I have one caveat to that. And the caveat is that we need times of rest. Okay? Just like with exercise, you can't exercise. We're not robots. You can't just constantly put stuff in and not rest. We do need rest for the inspiration, right? That's where times of prayer, of meditation, of naps. In yoga, it's shavasana. Okay? So, yes, we need input. We need this to be a habit, but we also need to take care of ourselves. And part of being human is that we need to rest and we need to let things sit. Okay? It's a cycle. It's part of the process. Okay, so I'd love to hear your duh moments. I think they're profound, right? Like when I say duh, I should have known that. Well, there's a reason why we didn't think of something sooner. And I truly believe, my personal belief is that things happen when they're supposed to. When we keep showing up and doing the work, things happen as they should. They unfold. I want to share with you now one powerful way to create more duh moments is to gather with others on these journeys. And that is what we've created in Non-Speakers Homeschool Support. Me and April Bowden, she's my partner. She helps me lead calls. We're creating this space where parents gather and the does come every month. They come every month on these calls. I have them every month. Again, because I'm not an expert that has all the answers. I'm creating a space for us to have these moments and to encourage each other. So we have a place of accountability. We have a place where inspiration is being cultivated, because it is tiring. This journey is tiring and it's long. We're in it for the long haul. We're in it for a marathon. So I want to let you know that tomorrow, did you know that tomorrow, Spellers, the documentary, Spellers, the movie, it's the 3-year anniversary of Spellers, the documentary being released, which was a really special time for me because it was occurring at the same time that I was getting Carter on the boards. So 3 years ago, Carter got on the boards, Spellers was released. And this month, in April, is 2-year anniversary of Non-Speakers Homeschool Support. And guess who we are having on as guest speakers, April 9th? Dr. Dana Johnson and Dawn Marie Gavin, the co-founders of the Spellers Method. The Spellers Method, they are highly sought after practitioners. Most of you know who they are, but if you don't, watch Spellers the movie. These two are coming on into NHS, Non-Speakers Homeschool Support, to share their wisdom, to share their journey. This is going to be a huge shot of inspiration for members in NHS, and there are going to be duh moments. There are going to be light bulbs that go off. There are going to be people that realize, I've been putting off taking that next step. I'm ready now. And so I would love for you to be on this call with Dana Johnson and Dawn Marie, aka DM, because this is going to be powerful. How do I know? They've both been guest speakers before, but separately. We've had Dana on before, and then we had Dawn Marie on. Those replays are also in our community. So if you're looking for a place that's going to help you with your discipline, which is going to help you show up for your non-speaker, to take those steps each day when you're tired, when you're exhausted, when you're not sure what that next step is, when the duh isn't coming, the solution's not coming. That's what NHS is here for. And so I'm opening doors tomorrow, March 31st. On the anniversary of Spellers, the documentary, they are going to be open for a little more than a week until that date when DM and Dawn Marie are going to be our guest speakers. That's April 9th. So tomorrow, Tuesday, April 31st through Thursday, April 9th. Did I say March? March 31st. Tomorrow, March 31st. That's Tuesday. If you have any questions, please comment below. Email me at susan@homeschoolyournonspeaker.com. You can message me on Facebook. Those are the best ways to get a hold of me. I am so grateful for you because you showing up inspires me every day. I love you all, and I'm just sending love to you on this Monday. It's March is wrapping up. We're full steam ahead into spring, and yeah, spring is a great time for renewed energy. If you've been tired, if winter was hard for you, be intentional. Start harnessing this spring energy. All right? I'm Susan May, and I'm inviting you to join the revolutions. Homeschool your non-speaker.